Hi, this is Dr. Kerry Johnson. I hope you're making your phone calls. Your clients really need you right now. COVID-19 has lasted a lot longer than pretty much anybody expected. On March 17th, the U.S. government said that we need to flatten the curve, 15 days to flatten the curve. Then it became 30, then it became 170 days to flatten the curve. And now a lot of people are just on the verge of giving up. It's really important for you to be able to call your clients once every 3 months during normal periods, and certainly once a month right now, to help them feel more confident that you have their best interests at heart. Our model for doing this is actually the 3-month phone call. Catch up on the family, update them on market, what the market may do, what the market has done, transition to the 5-step bridge so you can listen them into doing the things that they ought to be doing, not telling them what to do, but listening to their concerns and processing those things through our 5 steps. And obviously, at the very end of that, we're going to ask for a referral. I'm not going to go into the 3-month phone call, the structure, because we've done it many times before, and you're going to find other videos that's going to be able to relate to that in case you want a refresher. Today, what I'd like to do, though, is give you a market update on my thoughts about the last couple of weeks and what may happen in the next few weeks. And this is only to make your update during that 3-month phone call, or 1 month right now, even more informed so that you have better conversations. Before we start this, though, I just want to let you know that I talked to a coaching candidate this morning. And I said, so what do you say when you call people on that 3-month period? Well, I just kind of check in, see how things are doing, any questions. They say, what else do you do? No, that's kind of it. That's how 99% of the population, people that do what you do, that's how they make those phone calls. That is a big mistake. We need to structure these phone calls. We need to give them information that's going to be relevant. Otherwise, they're not going to answer the telephone the next time you call. If all you're doing is asking what's new, they don't have time for that. They want to know what they should be paying attention to and look at you as a resource for information that they can focus on. So here's our market update. Number one, the market's dropped dramatically over the last week. There's a lot of reason for this, the biggest one of which is there's a lot of profit taking. The other reason is that the stock market currently is based on only a few tech stocks. It's not a broad-based recovery. There's companies like Zoom and Apple and Amazon, and also a few other tech companies like SalesLogic and Salesforce that are really driving the market, including Tesla. But just in case you were wondering, the market is very, very overbought currently. It's trading at 32 times earnings right now, overbought dramatically, which is why we're seeing this kind of volatility. Tesla was down actually 13% last week, 13% in one day. Now that's volatility. Also, we're seeing a rotation right now from tech into value stocks. And to show you how pronounced that is, Warren Buffett, the guru of value investing, actually bought 5 Japanese companies, not the companies in general, but into those companies. And all these companies were in value areas. To give you an idea of how overbought the tech sector is, Apple is, ready for this, valued more than all the stocks in the FTSE, or the British stock market index. So all the public stocks held in Britain is diminished by the value of Apple currently. That's how much Apple has been overbought. Number two, there's an accounting quirk within banks right now that's kind of skewing a lot of the reporting. The banks are under accounting protocol called the current expected credit loss. Current expected credit loss. What that means is banks are required to value any losses they may incur in the next 6 months to a year, and have their reserves commensurate with the losses they expect. That will be disappearing in 2021, but that's also dampening a lot of the lending that banks are doing. The amount of reserves putting a lot of pressure on banks, which is why banks are sort of underperforming. And number three, the unemployment currently is 8.4%. The unemployment also is going down a little bit more. We expected the unemployment to be about 9.9% right now, so the recovery is happening a bit quicker. Not terribly a V-shaped recovery, but a bit quicker than we've seen before. The really remarkable thing is that the Federal Reserve Board, or the Fed, actually said last week they're going to keep rates down for the foreseeable future. Now, experts who are called Fed watchers say that they are going to keep rates down for the next 5 years. And to be able to rationalize that, justify that, the Fed actually is working on what's called a 2% inflation average target. Now, this is really interesting because the Fed so far has been very reactive. If the inflation starts going a 3% or 4%, Fed acts immediately to fix that. Now the Fed is looking at averages. If it goes up at 3% this quarter and then back down to 2%, then it values it at 2.2% or something like that. And they're going to react a lot slower than they have been. Now, that's a big departure from what the Fed has done. In fact, they said that as much, that this is the first big Fed change in the last 10 years. Now, they said it was long overdue, but that's going to be a big deal. So that basically tells you the Fed is going to keep rates really low. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. Right now, the debt we have currently is at World War II levels. The most debt we've ever seen in this country was during World War II. We're fighting on two fronts, and Axis powers in Europe, obviously, and Japan. The deficit, which is the overall debt that America owes right now, is $26 trillion. The debt, which is the annual debt, is $3.3 trillion. That's really interesting because that basically shows there's got to be some way of paying for that. Now, if the Fed could keep rates artificially low, it will not have a big impact on borrowing. We're not going to have bonds that go up. It'll tampen inflation down. It's basically the Fed's way of saying we've got to pay for this some way. We can either sell China more bonds or we can increase inflation dramatically. Instead of not going to increase inflation, they're going to have to sell the bonds to other places. What basically is happening is the Fed is driving money into the stock market. Bonds are so low, it's just ridiculous. Treasuries right now are paying about 1%, and the Fed's going to keep that down there. And you can also tell your clients that we're going to look at mortgage rates as being very low for foreseeable future. So that's our market update. Take these tips and communicate with your clients effectively. Let them know what will happen. And again, the only reason that you're even communicating this stuff is to get the conversation started, to listen to their worries, their concerns, so that you can help them get past that and do the things you'd like them to do. But make sure, number one, use this market update. You listen to these people, your clients and prospects. Don't forget to call your prospects. If you call your prospects, they'll realize that you're the only person that's talking to them, and you're going to generate more clients from those conversations. So it's very important to make these phone calls.